Hi, welcome to Gather, Love, Thrive. I'm Danea Shanti, and on this show, we are exploring having your own intuitive guidance awaken from inside. With me today is Aja Rose, who is part of Inner Light Revival, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I want to say thank you to RevBrez and New Thought Media Network. Because of them, we're able to share this show with you today. And you'll see the link scrolling across the screen here. I'd love for you to show them some love, give them some green energy, and help them fulfill their vision of what they're doing on this network. I'm excited to be here. So my guest today is Aja Rose. Welcome, Aja.
Thank you, Danea. So grateful to be here.
She's an amazing being. And quick snapshot, Inner Light Revival. I know I'm just throwing this at you, but give me a snap. What does that mean?
Well, I actually love what you just said about New Thought Media and this idea that our true guidance comes from within.
Yeah.
And we are our own greatest healer.
Yes. And you have a story about that. One of the things I want to do on this platform is talk about a moment when you just felt like the universe got behind you and showed you you're not alone. You had this inner wisdom. You had this moment where you're like, I get it. I'm not alone. I don't have to struggle. So do you have a short little story you can tell me? Like a demonstration of that?
I do. So I struggled with horrible chronic migraines that started at the age of 6. Wow. And pretty much lived my entire life with a debilitating migraine.
Wow.
And went the whole Western route. And eventually, after hitting rock bottom in college and having to drop out for a semester, being bedridden for months, that's when I got on the path. So they say.
Yeah. So what did that mean for you? So first of all, from 6 years old through college, that's years of suffering, living with suffering. So what happened? What do you mean by you got on the path? And I believe you're referring to self-healing. So what do you mean? What happened?
Well, being just bedridden in a dark room for months, coming off a lot of intense medications. And that's when I started reading books about self-healing and all these different healing modalities. And it put me on the most incredible journey for the next 10 years and eventually led to the beginning of the life that I'm living now.
And the life that you're living now is because no one here knows you yet. Yeah. So give me a picture. What is your life right now?
My life is honestly amazing. One that I could never have dreamed up of 10 years ago. Wow. And it came from my healing journey. And that started with breath work. And so I spend most of my days learning, experiencing the breath, and then sharing that with others.
And you do that like through sessions and workshops and stuff?
So I see clients one-on-one. I share workshops and retreats, and love combining it with other things that really make me feel most alive and with what I see offers the most transformation for people, which is nature, dance, music, community.
Yeah.
And so weaving all of those together to an experience.
And that's what you love, and that's part of what helped you heal, along with this discovery with the breath work. And I'm going to just throw this out there because I have this information. Isn't this also sort of expanding to the point where you're on a bigger stage right now?
Yes, things have very synchronistically evolved in ways that I could never have fathomed. And about 4 years ago, we started working with our favorite band. When I say we, my brother and I run this business, Inner Light Revival, together, and started collaborating with the band Yaima. And now we're opening for them and going on tour.
Opening for Yaima and going on tour with Yaima.
Technically, we're the openers, which is funny.
Yeah. And like almost everybody knows the name of Yaima. This is a pretty big deal. From 6 years old in a bed with migraines, not even having any idea where your life is going, let alone you have the ability to heal yourself and then live your dream and then be able to give it back out to the world. That's amazing. And that all sounds very alive to me. So if I were to ask you this, so what's most alive for you right now in your life? So that's a lot of really big, great stuff. And I'm sure everyone watching is like, wow, like her life is so amazing, right? We're human and we're always going to our next edge and having breakthroughs. So in all that joy, there's probably also a growth moment. So combining that, everything's alive and amazing, and there's a growth moment. What is most alive for you in your experience of your life right now? Like, we're going to do the hero formula. So what's the most alive for you?
Honestly, my day-to-day is I just keep coming more into a state of contentment and simplicity and coming back to what does it mean to be human? What are these basic fundamental things that provide a joyful, fulfilling life? And for me, it's connecting to anything that I'm in relationship with, whether that's the water I'm drinking or the music I'm listening to. So just really slowly backing out of the hustle. And just really resting in my truth and allowing that to be expressed in whatever way it wants to.
You sound like you're deeply settled in yourself and relaxed while life is moving you forward in activity. Right? So like the state of being and relating from a state of being through all the doing. Does that kind of capture it?
Exactly. Because, sometimes I think I used to get wrapped up in the doing and get so excited about doing all the things and wanting to do more and more. And now just, coming from a place of what is my resonance on a daily basis and allow the doing to come from that. And then, yes, of course, there's definitely challenges, which we're going to go into.
Yeah, we are, because I think you're speaking for all of us, right? It's like, I don't know one person right now who isn't challenged by, I need things to slow down, and living in a state of well-being is important. I know it's important to me, and I know a lot of people watching, it's important to them, and yet time seems to be speeding up, and most of us have a leaning toward wanting to bring forward our ideal world according to each of our heart's visions, and that's high creative energy. So staying relaxed and at home while activity happens through us, I think is probably on everyone's question list right now. How do I do that? So what is a challenge for you in this? So in the hero formula, what we'll cover is, who were you at the time of your challenge? What is your challenge? And we'll go forward from there. So let's just do number 2 first. What's the challenge that you're faced with right now?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, breath work saved my life. I was able to heal these migraines and create this life that I'm living right now. And what's so interesting to me about the breath, one of many things, is that it's very humbling. And about 3 years ago, I started experiencing a breathing issue, which I had never experienced before. And it's taken me on quite the ride of needing to go even deeper than I ever imagined into myself and into this work in a way that I don't think I would have at this point in my life if I didn't have this challenge.
Okay, so I want to clarify something. So not everybody watching is familiar with breath work. So it's humbling. What do you mean?
Yeah, so it's, to me, there's so many different styles out there, but the more that I get into this work, the more I'm drawn to the the simplicity and the subtlety, not really the simplicity, but the subtlety, and the daily practice. So we can, do these different styles of breath work and have these, what feel like, these enlightening experiences, which they are.
Yeah.
But then how are you living every single day?
Yeah. How are you taking it into your life?
Yeah.
So the challenge for you, and then we're doing it in reverse, and that's okay. The challenge for you is that an issue has come up for you that you've never encountered before, having to do with your breath. Can you say what the issue is so I have greater understanding? Yeah.
So, I guess technically, I think it might be mild asthma. Asthma is a very big umbrella term, kind of like headaches, It's like, you have headaches. It's like, oh, cool. What does that mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so, just sometimes it goes in and it goes up and down. I'll have trouble kind of getting a full deep breath and almost feel like I'm running out of air. And so it's been a journey. I've come at it at so many different angles, and I really feel like I'm at a crossroads right now of, can I fully commit to my intuition? What I really feel is the messages I'm receiving.
Well, then that's perfect, because that is what this is about. That's exactly.
This was all very perfect timing.
The hero formula is about an absolute commitment to listening to and following your guidance. So let's go through the steps. We'll go through a lot of them quickly, because I want to get to the juiciest one for you. So step one, who are you at the time? So if you were to just meet someone on the street and you're like, hey, I'm a breath facilitator and I'm having an issue with a slight asthma, which I've never encountered before. Who are you at this time encountering that challenge?
I honestly feel like I'm in a place where I'm being tested of, am I really going to walk my talk? That the healing and the intuitive knowing comes from within. Can I fully commit to that?
Wow, I have chills. Okay, so who you are at the time is a woman who's exploring. Will you be able to commit 100% to following the voice that's wise inside?
Yeah, it feels like an initiation.
Okay, feels like an initiation. The issue is, the challenge is, or the predicament is, you're encountering an asthmatic type of energy or experience in the breath work. And the breath work has saved your life in the past. Okay, so.
Well, and I want to say it's not when I'm doing the breath work, I feel good, but it's just randomly sometimes throughout the day, I might have this experience of. Yeah.
And does it feel like just the lungs tighten up and you can't get breath in?
Yeah, it's almost like if you think of the inhale, it's like I can't get to the very top of the inhale where it feels satisfying. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just feels like I'm slowly running out of air.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
It's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so step 3 is pivotal to where we're heading in our discussion right now. So step 3 is asking the universe for help. So if we were pretending that we were just sitting in a room together, quietly alone, and I said to you, would you just drop in for a moment and ask for your intuition, ask the universe for help? Can you just do that now? Could you just kind of drop in quietly and just ask, however you would ask? And if it doesn't feel too strange, you could ask out loud. If it does feel weird, just ask within.
Yeah, my prayer to the universe, to spirit, is to be shown a clear demonstration of a path that I can commit to really move through this initiation of my breath, and then be able to share what I've learned and what I've moved through. I'm ready. I feel ready.
Beautiful. So you've just asked for help. Step 4 is listening to the guidance that comes, and we'll use intuition because that's the strong word for you. So now you get to drop inside, take your attention off the outside, and I'm inviting you to really listen and see what comes. And again, you can articulate it out loud or just keep it to yourself and then share. I'm going to be quiet. Yeah, so what did you get?
Well, first, and this is normally what I receive from my intuition is, it's like, I already know the answer, but then it's like, I'm just asking for confirmation, which helps that knowing be more obvious to me.
Sure.
And what I received is that it is going to come from within, and it's going to be about embodying a completely different resonance, like a different, energetic makeup of myself.
Wow. What does that mean to you? So your intuition just gave you some really precise words and descriptions. Is there also a feeling that came with that? Like what accompanied, and how did you get that? Did you hear it? Did you see it? Did you feel it? How did you get your guidance?
I'd say I often feel, well, I'll speak to right now. Right now, I actually heard it. Often I feel it in my body. It's like tingles or... Yeah. But yeah, I would say what that means to me is, it felt like, can I fully take it? Like, it almost feels scary. Like, can you really take this risk? Not risk, but can you commit to this and do what is maybe scary because it's not familiar. It's not, and that's what it really felt all around, is changing my everyday patterns, shifting my way of being, not necessarily shifting who I am on a deeper level, but resting into that more deeply.
Yeah. Like, how deep can you go in the truth of who you are and actually show up in your skin, your life, in the world as that.
Exactly.
Which is the most terrifying thing for every human being that I know.
Yes.
Right? Fully revealed, fully naked, and totally dropped in, no masks in the world. Okay, so that's what your guidance offered you. The next step is choices, right? So we have free will, and you can choose, that was cool, I'm not going to follow it. Or that was all right, I'll follow this part of it. Or that whole thing resonated, I'm going to choose to trust that guidance. What feels real for you in this step?
Yes, I do. Like I said, I feel like I'm at this crossroads, and one crossroad is to take the approach that I've done before with such a long history of being on such a deep healing journey, of going to different healers and taking all of these different supplements and doing all of the modalities, or just really having such a deep trust that this is part of my journey. It is so here to help me and take me to the next level of what I'm sharing in the world and what I'm embodying. So can I really trust that and trust that it's less of a doing and that it's more of a being.
That you're choosing to trust that your guidance gave you accurate understanding, that I'm just checking with you right now, that the breath work is the modality to stay with, to move through this, to change the resonance. Everything has a frequency and resonance that happens in our body, that to let yourself be guided on a daily basis as the breath work and the resonance shifts to reveal to you this new energy body. You said something like that earlier, and you're going to choose to follow that instead of doing what you've done in the past, which is go to outside authority to tell you how to get to it. Am I hearing you clearly?
That's exactly it. And I loved what you said. It's unfolding on a day-to-day basis. I'm receiving guidance as it unfolds. So right now, that's why it's scary, because if I'm coming from past patterns, I have a grip on that. I know what that looks like. I know the modalities that I could do and different breathwork techniques. But if I just let it come on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis, then that's the unknown. Right. And I know it is very connected to breath work. I feel that. And I feel that it's going to be a new evolution of the type of breath work and the way that I share it.
So you're choosing to follow that. So the next step is action. So based on what you choose, which we just went over, action is about demonstrating to yourself and letting the universe know you really mean it. Like you're standing for yourself. This is where we access the inner hero, right? So what action do you feel called to in this action that's recognizable to you in taking a stand for yourself? Yeah, I love that you're dropping in to see, what is my action?
What's coming up right now is, it's funny that you just said that, because that's kind of my answer, is to actually take a moment in the morning. That's my time where I can really go inward. Take a moment every morning to really see kind of go through this process of what is my guidance saying today? Instead of, I think, prior to right now, and I'm seeing now that this is an old pattern of, I would kind of set a goal of, okay, this month I'm going to breathe every morning for 30 minutes and do it this way. And that's really not that much different than this other pathway that I was talking about of an external thing. I think it's coming from the mind then. Right. The left brain is saying, well, this structure will get you where you need to go. And your intuition is saying, be alive with me every moment. Listen and feel in every minute. Check in the morning to see what you need. And I will unfold you into the self that has, we're imagining the full open breath without that little asthmatic pattern happening. And so the results, like, I love the shine on your face, and you were like, I'm having an epiphany right now. Yeah, well, I want to hear it. Let's the inner results. Share. The epiphany is amazing. Can you capture it for me? Yeah, well, so one thing that I contemplate often is how I have these defaults. For example, in this context, I don't do well with structure. I'm much more on the side of flow. So there's this part of me that's like, you need more structure. You need to have a planner and make a plan and have a set routine. But then that other part of me resists that. And so that's what I love, this idea of, I can have the commitment and the flow at the same time. And this feels like a way to have structure in a new way. Yes. Where it's committing to tuning in to myself. Yes. I'm not excited at all. I think normally I was committing to the practice, which is still outside of myself. That's right. Right. Yeah. How's that feel? How do you feel? My whole body's hot. Maybe that's for other reasons. It just got warmer. Yeah, that's awesome. So that's the inner world results. There's also outer world results. And right now you're just having the epiphany. So we will see what the outer world results are over time. Because it's the unknowns. I can't. You can't. Like, I know that right now. That's right. That's right. And that's the beauty of you being landed in present moment living in the unknown, being guided by your intuition as you go. Total surrender, in my language, and total empowerment at the same time. Yeah, exactly. It feels like I'm just seeing it through a different lens. Because I feel very connected to my intuition, and I live my life in that way. But I'm really seeing how, I feel like I can always go deeper in that trust. And that belief in myself. And and that the belief in that I am always guided in every single moment. In my world, it's a fact, right? Like, you could believe it or not, it's there and it's operating all the time. I'm so happy for you. Yay. I feel really good. About this. Awesome. Thanks for running through the steps with me like that. And I'll just say from my history, because I'm trained in a different modality of breath work than you are, long, like another incarnation for me at this point. I had worked with 3 different elder women who all had severe asthma, like, the inhaler right in the pocket, regular visits to the hospital. By the time they completed the breath work that they did, because of their body and their body patterns, breath work is breath work. And I believe it's all powerful. So none of them had inhalers anymore, and none of them had asthma patterns.
Now, I know that we can't make a medical claim that breath work will heal asthma. We can't do that. And I've seen the miracles of all different kinds of breath work modalities. So with your deep commitment to yourself and showing up for yourself, and that you're quite the breath trainer, I don't see how it's going to end up anyway, but then just magnificent.
It feels like that. It's like I can feel the soul part of me that planned all of this out.
Right.
Like, I want to learn everything I can about the breath. So I want to know what it's like to not be able to breathe.
Right. And that's kind of how it gets served up sometimes. The thing we want to learn about is the thing we have to, metaphorically bang our heads against. It's like, because I wanted to learn. My soul wanted me to learn about that, right? And that's what I love about the hero formula, is getting the personality informed by the soul wisdom, or the voice that's wise inside, the intuition, to say, I always say it's got the eagle's point of view, and here in our human personalities, we've got the turtle's point of view. So that higher vision of looking over and seeing where we need to go is always available to us.
Exactly.
So
and I feel that part just laughing. Like,
I know.
We chose this.
I get laughed at a lot. I'll stop there, but I get laughed at a lot by the teams. So I have had so much fun with you that I actually want to share with folks a little bit of footage from a retreat that you did with Yaima's music playing, and enjoy that. I just want to share that. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to that footage right now.
The memories of gazing up at the most incredible ancient rock formations and the most epic, awe-inspiring landscape is something I remember for the rest of my life.
After my first multi-day trip, I had no idea something like this even existed. It completely changed my life. That was the start of this dream, bringing mindfulness and deep connection and these different practices of breath and silence, healthy food, and connecting with nature in such a unique, deep way that the connection between the people on the river, we go in as strangers and 4 days later we leave as family. And to me, that is one of the greatest experiences that I could ever ask for.
Wow, that was beautiful. I want to be on that retreat. Well, thank you for being here today and sharing your vulnerability with everyone. That was really awesome. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we want to say thank you again to New Thought Media Network for allowing us the pleasure of being on this platform. Please give them some love. The donation link is rolling by. And if you're interested in getting deeper with your own intuition and want to get some free goodies to support that, you can check out my site and my new book, Wise Inside, and that is at DaneaShantiThrive.live. And we wish you well and see you next time.